the natural gas.
I used to watch
like,
it a little, but it's like it just has some moves
yeah,
that I'm like, what is it? What's going on here? So
it's kind of psychotic. Yeah. Last thing, everyone's asking, or not everyone. We saw quick Bitcoin. We'll extend a
yeah,
little
so
bit.
we can
I
take a
want to
look
see
at
Bitcoin
Bitcoin.
too.
So here's the thing is I'm bearish to Bitcoin to this previous month's low. We spoke about this here. It's just you can see once we get this super large range or this expansion lower, it can set up some consolidation conditions, and that's what we're doing. We're just consolidating. If we are going to take out this low before the month end, I don't want to see this high taken out as it is protected within my strategy. So I'd like this to see a continuation lower in here if that's going to occur. It's not super interesting to me because I prefer an asset that's just trending off the month end. If you notice, when you have nice trending conditions, it's usually going to be early into the month we start a trend. And if you look early into the month, we're not trending, right? We're spending all of this time consolidating, which leaves just a little bit of time left in the month. We're about halfway through now to get an expansion. So if it's going to go, we kind of want to see it go in this next week. Otherwise, it's just going to consolidate the rest of the month, and then we can focus on January.
Yeah, as someone who's added to Bitcoin as of late, again, I talked about this with Mark. I don't trade leverage with it. I own it. You could just feel it. I don't even need to look at the chart every day. I open it up and I look at it. You could just feel the consolidation in Bitcoin. The indexes followed, then bonds made a new low, everything followed lower, and now here we are with equity indexes getting a little bit soft. The dollar continues to get weak against currencies. T-Trades covered that. And the bond market now is actually just stone cold flat on the day, and gold continues to catch a bid, which is not surprising when you see the dollar continue to get weaker against really kind of everything except equity indexes. So as we like to call it here on Tuesday, black boxes. Let's get ready to trade the open with Merritt Black and Christian trading boxes. What up?
Morning, guys.
Morning.
So let's get right into it today, boys. Had some data this morning. Any trades from either of you on the data?
Not on the number, no. I'm in a trade now, but no.
In a trade right now. So let's start with Merritt. Merritt, what are we looking at?
I shorted natural gas. I don't know what I'm doing. Look, it's a good breakdown.
He's a sicko.
You guys were talking about it. I pulled it up. It was dropping towards the lows. I had to short it.
I saw it going down, so I shorted it.
No, awesome. Natural gas is obviously one of the most in-play markets. It's really got some. This time of year is typically good. If you look, this is where natural gas shines, is when we start to get these wintertime numbers. Is it warmer than expected, cooler than expected? What are those demand levels going to look like? And natural gas can be a real, as we know, barn burner, but it's a tradable instrument. You certainly don't want to trade it without a stop. But no, it's
Cutting
a
losses
real
is
market.
an act of
we
courage,
allow people to
not
trade
defeat.
it at
It's
Theros,
saying,
and
I value my future more than my pride.
when it's moving. In the summertime when it's dead, I would prefer not to touch it. But when it's moving, it can be really nice.
Yeah, I think the one thing, Merritt, and I love that you trade multiple markets, but you have the ability to come in and out of the markets, and you get in touch with them when they're in play, and you feel it, and you see it, and everything aligns for you, and you're able to do it. And it's people don't appreciate this enough, but it's a switch, right? Natural gas. He looks at it. You could see it within a few seconds. What's the play? Looks at it. Comes in. Already knows how to manage his risk. It's not that easy for everybody else. And I say this, and I joke around it obviously earlier with natural gas. It's one of those markets where obviously look at the micros as well. But when you jump to these other markets, especially when you get into energy, soft commodities, they move differently. I mean, a lot of you probably had quite the lesson this year trading gold. Probably some really good, some really bad, and they move a lot different than the indexes. The indexes, what's interesting about them is that they're pretty much the same over and over and over again, right? It's easy to identify the slower days. It's easier to identify the days when we're a little bit busier. It kind of like pops right out at you, and as a newer trader, you can come in and see it. These markets creep up on you with busyness. All of a sudden, you get natural gas, and you're just like, wow, the average has been moving 50 ticks a day, and then it moves 400 ticks in a day. You're like, oh my God, what's happening right now? And that's the reality of it. And if you don't recognize that, I think it's subconsciously you have to really, you have to be mentally prepared here to bring it forward right away. I know we don't talk about that much, Merritt, in the market, changing that you do from one market each week to the next.
Yeah, I do think some people overcomplicate it. I really do. I think some people are maybe they're used to trading Nasdaq, right? And that's kind of what they came up on, and that's what everyone else was around them trading, so that's what they traded. And there's like a fear. There's like I have to become some form of a specialist with some just deep understanding of the personality of this market before I can touch it. And first off, I just don't believe that that's true. I think you want to be prudent. You want to understand what's the tick value, how much size do I need to be trading in this so it fits for my strategy and my risk tolerances and what I'm doing. And then, maybe trade it for a day, a week, something in sim, and just understand a little bit about the speed of its tape, what's normal, what's fast, what's slow, just a little bit. And then you're ready to trade it, as long as you have general trading prowess and you have an edge and you know how to manage risk. Another market, it's, back in my SMB days, you kind of learn you don't have to know what this company does to if it's got volume and above average volume and it's got a news catalyst and activity, you don't really need to know what the company does, right? So I kind of bring a little bit of that to the future space. If you were to ask me trivia about natural gas or something like I'm not your guy.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think once you have some experience, and I do believe in starting and getting experience with one market first, and I think you develop skills, execution skills. Going from one market to the next is not that difficult, but understanding, like you said, tick value, there's a little bit of nuance with it. Is there a data point that day? Make sure you again, once you're managing risk across the board. And I have found that some tools work really good in some markets, some don't work as well in others. And that's something you figure out. And as experience goes by, you learn that stuff, as you're going through, trading these different markets. One thing I'll say, I put a post out the other day about this. I said, one of the key things that I've seen over the years with really successful futures traders is that they don't just trade one market. A lot of them is that I've seen over the years, myself included, you trade other markets. You're not just held by one market every day, because some markets are in play some days they're not. And I'm saying you have to go find the market that's in play that day, but if you're there every day, you will find that indexes aren't in play every day. And again, we're going to move to you now, Chris, and talk about what's going on with the indexes today. But like even a guy like Chris, he's swing trading, he's trading stocks, he's doing other things. And when the futures are there, he's patient. And when the play comes up, he does it. And when it's not, he doesn't. I think the problem when you are just trading one market only, especially equity indexes, you try to find that play every single day, and you might go through spouts that works really, really well for periods of time. But over careers, it's not always the case. You're going to have periods where you may not do anything in equities indexes for weeks or months, and you have to be prepared for that. Chris, what are you seeing in today's tape coming out of the data?
So
Big buy.
let me show the 4-hour here to see where we're at, and I'm still on December contract for this morning. So we are, I mean, NQ, we know what NQ has been doing. We broke out of this multi-day range. We started a 4-hour 9MA downtrend, and we're now into the first lower low, lower high, second lower low. This is usually where 80% of the trends end. Sometimes 20% there is a third lower low, but that's more like the climax top in an uptrend or the bottom in a downtrend. So if we can hold here into this 24,900 area or 840s, then we can work our way back up. We did just back test resistance, which is the prior week low in the 9MA. So we, it might be a little bit of a consolidation day again, because we are looking to see, are we ending this downtrend or are we making a low? Yes, it's still it's being supported by cyclicals. We saw financials had a pretty big run, a lot of rotation out of tech into financials over the last week, holding much better. It's actually flirting with a breakout here of this multi-day range, and we want to know now, is it going to be a failed breakdown below it, we click below it back up, or we actually form some acceptance down here and then start a decline to follow AQ. That's why I said it might be a little bit of a consolidation day on top of already what it's been, because yes, it's flirting with potential break as well as AQ, and we don't have the information to tell us if we are going to have follow lower. As far as the morning plan here, on the hourly for ES, we had a inside that second 4-hour drop.
I never move my stop loss.
Well, and that came to an end right below 6790s. We now pushed up. You can see that this bounces right back into that range right now, 6818. So now the question is, that's my other comment. Acceptance here, and if we claim it, we claim on 6818, then we can reverse back up into 6843 and 6868. If we fail to reclaim it, maybe fail to move part of the low as a higher low, swing low, then we move lower into 6793, where we can say, hey, is this going to be at this point a deeper higher low? And then, but overall, it's still a structure where there's like some consolidation on a higher time frame involved to know if we are going to break below this range or not. If we do not hold 6790s on a deeper retracement, then we're going to go see new lows. For NQ, complete downtrend. But if we can do something of the similar structure here, we can reclaim this 25,110 prior week low area. We can bounce back up. If not, I mean, this is just going to be a pretty rangeful day here inside this 24,950s to 25,110s. Either we form some consolidation and either we reclaim 110s and see higher, or we continue with the downtrend, make a third lower low on the 4-hour, and then maybe at that time we finally do see a short-term low where we can start a relief bounce on a 4-hour to daily structure. But that's what I have for today. It's a little bit of a, we've already seen the consolidation that we've seen on a daily basis, but this is has more clarity on that structure to tell us that, hey, we can consolidate today.
Yeah, I mean the indexes, it's December in a bull market, the week of rollover, and you've got divergence in the indexes. Not surprised to see a little bit of back and forth here. I think two-way tape for sure. I mean, it's like, you don't have to be too experienced to know that, you've got a lot of things that are kind of keeping this tape going the way it is. Again, you got mirror trade natural gas. We'll see what else mirror trades throughout the morning, because there are some other things. I'm actually going to be curious to see if you were even going to take a look at crude oil. You and I have been watching that market. We're waiting for it to get a little bit lively, somewhat today. I mean, anything on there? I'm just curious if you peeked at it.
love to see crude go lower first to go higher, right?
Yeah, I
And
agree.
kind of just clear out some inventory and whatnot. I'm not gonna. This is not a situation for the natural methodology to start trying to pick bottoms. I will look for a nice little blow off type of low, really kind of capitulate. That would just be beautiful, like it did in April. And for something like the weekly time frame, or maybe a handful of days, like volume profile, market profile, put in a little bit of a balance, and then start to show us I can hold back inside that balance after failing below, after taking another look, or I can start to hold above that balance. That type of what I call lower, higher time frame confirmation, that's going to be the signal, and that's what I'm going to be looking for in the crude.
Yeah, it's just not there yet. I know, I'm with
Yep.
you. It's
Oh,
like
not even
watching
close.
it
Yeah.
today, going, yeah, exactly. All right, boys. Everybody in chat, show my guys some love. Hit that like and subscribe button. I didn't ask you guys to do that yesterday. And what a show we've had for you so far. We had Mark Yusko, we had T-Trade, we had the panel for the data. Hit that like and subscribe. We got nearly 1,000 people in here. Show the boys some love. It's the holidays, everybody. As Jimmy Cagg says, it's free to hit that like button. Let's get that up there for my guys. This is the last Tuesday I'll be on for this year, guys. So you guys will be seeing me. Tomorrow's my last day, and then I'll be
Thank goodness.
back the week. I know, really. I mean, if I can
Break
get
from
some
this
real.
guy.
Ouch.
You're the grand
Yeah, he loves it. And he's got the green jacket on. He's coming in. Yeah, he likes coming in a little hot, but he knows I love him. But, I want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas, man. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, both of you.
You too, brother.
I'll probably talk with you guys on text or anything around that time anyway. But appreciate you guys here with us today, and I look forward to seeing what you guys do. See ya.
Likewise.
See you,
Enjoy
brother.
your holidays.
Take care. It's the holiday season.
All right, guys. Just me and the Grinch now.
My wife drugged me to a Christmas,
I just heard my wife drugged me.
not drugged, drug me
Uh-huh.
to a Christmas show yesterday. It was Vince Gill and Amy Grant at the Ryman in Nashville. I didn't really want to go, but it was good. It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how things go with my wife and I'm kind of like working on some like hobby thing around the house or doing stuff, and she'd be like, "We're gonna go do this." I'm like, "No, I don't want to do that." And then once I get there, I'm like, "I'm glad you took me to do this. This is good."
Oh, doing things around the house, huh? You're a manly man. Didn't picture that. But okay.
Oh man, I'm actually building my 4-year-old boy's Christmas present right now, and I guarantee you I'm more fun building it than he's gonna have playing with it. I bought this like kit of electronics components and like these Wi-Fi module chip things, I don't know what to call them, ESP32s, and I'm like using ChatGPT and I'm wiring up all this stuff, and I bought these like battery packs, and I'm building him. He likes his little Brio train set on his train table he plays with. I'm building him a train gate that raises and lowers based on him having this little knife switch that he throws up and down, like the Frankenstein kind of switch.
Yeah.
And then these lights come on and it beeps as it's going down. I'm building this whole thing from scratch. It's just so much fun to do. So
If you risk too much,
he has half
you'll
as
trade
much fun
scared.
with it as
You'll
I'm
watch
building
every
it.
tick. You'll panic at every wobble. That kind of trading destroys your judgment. But if your risk is small, you can watch the tape with the cool head. You can trade
Why
breathe,
am I still on
let it
the
develop,
summer contract?
because you know the
It's
worst
just
case
for
is still
question.
manageable.
planning.
And here's the
I mean, you have a
cruelest
better answer
irony.
probably for
The
that.
men who risk too much often do
The
it because they
stream,
want the success fast. They can't wait for the grind of steady profits. But by rushing, by risking too much, they burn out and fail before they ever get the chance to build something lasting. It's the patient man who risks little but risks often, who wakes up years later with the fortune. Which road do you want?
Test. Alright, 6 minutes until the open. High time frame. I got rid of the TPO, it's a roll week. RG round trip the 60-point trade from here to here. Love to see it. So this Vwap is all messed up, but we sold off at +2 on the week. Retesting +1 again. Perhaps we're gonna find a bid offer. We did break the low of this candle and then started pumping, so that's not a good sign for sellers. Could continue pushing up. On the months, similarly, rollover is messing everything up. I'm not sure if I have it correctly, but we did sell off at the -1. So on the monthly we are imbalanced down, so that's a bear sign. On the weekly we are back into value, but the week just started. So it doesn't mean anything. We pump back up on the months. We could revisit the Vwap. That's where we tested 4 times before. So
Big buy.
On the months, it hasn't been really respected except for this time. -1 has been, so 380 is a good spot. 380 is here. So +2 on the week, -1 on the months. If we go above it, this could be a
Add only to winners.
good opportunity for a buy. Otherwise, if this rejects, we can, and Vwap doesn't hold, we can traverse this value back, find the bid back up.
Big sell.
In the meantime, we have quite a bit of selling here coming in. I wish well, that's fucking annoying, bro. I sold right here. 66 points. for it to turn into break even. Back to 63. It's okay. So we are open.
Big buy.
We are open. My markers continue to fuck me. Cancel. Okay, so
NQ,
pretty strong
weekly plus
buying.
1 touch.
that is very strong buying. Can this fucking thing update? I hate that I have to sync my delta. All the time. Okay. Almost. It's a lot of buying. Boom. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Big sell.
Whoa, that's pretty strong selling. There was a blob of offers here and here. Let's see what's going to happen. A lot of absorption right here. Does that mean we're going up?
NQ, plus 1 touch.
A lot of offers getting lifted. Offers not happy. Mainly because, well, we're pushing higher. This is interesting.
Big sell.
Sellers pushing. I need to go with aggression. Minus 300, minus 300. The sellers are getting absorbed at the moment, but usually when I see something like this, the move is to follow. I will try one. Don't like this LVN.
If there is no pullback, there is no trade. Big sell.
That's pretty strong selling. That is currently being absorbed, but usually this will not hold. How to break even. Buyers are trying, but I don't believe in this trying.
Big
Yeah,
sell.
more pressure continues. They're trying to hold it, but I'm not sure if they will be able to. Wouldn't mind a stop out and then reversal. A little stop run, but we have news in 10 minutes. Narwhal 127, but it doesn't really matter because it's a rollover. Yesterday, yeah, was half volume. Not convinced in this selling at the moment. I think it's gonna pop to the downside, given the vibes, but there's a lot of bid absorption on the lows here. Not convinced. Doesn't look very strong. Or? Okay, I need to fix my markers.
NQ, plus 1 touch. Big sell.
Wow.
Big sell.
More selling, more selling.
Big sell.
Oof, 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 oof. Someone is loading up, man. Jesus Christ. Look at all the selling that has been absorbed at the moment.
Big sell.
10 points over. That is a crazy candle. Seven minutes into the news, someone is selling into the bid and someone is absorbing at the same time, so which way it's going, no clue, but a lot of selling happened here, a lot.
Big sell.
And continues. Yeah, I do want to sell this, but we have news.
NQ rejecting off that resistance again up here.
so
ES is
hold the
wedging
Vwap.
up.
Someone is hammering the bid at the moment.
There it goes. But they just keep kind of
I do wanna sell this badly, bruh.
scale some more.
It'll break if NQ fails here. Just trying to create a higher low.
The market doesn't punish you for being wrong. It punishes you for staying wrong. It's not the mistake that kills you. It's your refusal to survive it.
There's the breach of 60. Lat, thanks for playing. Just taking a little nibble there. That's not it was not some type of big structural thesis narrative kind of play. It was literally what I said when I took the trade. It was risk reward skewed in my favor. Short term reference, not a full Nadro type of stuff. Short term.
Come on, push a little bit. Shit the bed a little bit and I'm out. Three minutes until news. Just one more push down.
Big sell.
All right,
Big buy.
just in time. Well, that's good. I'll take that. Maybe I should take more of these 2 to 1 and that's it. Instead of trying to shoot the shit. I had a 2 to 1 here. I had 2 to 1 here. I had 1 R here. 2 1 1 R. 2 1 R. I closed.
Bias check-in. What is the current outlook? Are you trading what is? Are
Then
we
I
in
gave away a
balance
bunch of
slash
profits as
trending
well.
or rotational? Is Vwap holding?
Okay, that's good. Let's see. Thank you. Oh yeah, where's the news? Continue pushing down. News never happened.
Flash, manufacturing, services also lower than expected, 52.9 as opposed to 54. Do I even know what that means? Not really. Not really, Chad. PMI. Price manufacturing. So is that like an inflation measure almost? Like prices high or low? Tracy!
Let's see if we can form some little bit of a lower low or high here. Let's break down an
Tracy! Mom! Come on, Gold. Be tradable.
Big buy. NQ, weekly plus one touch.
So this is gonna be the higher low against the overnight low. Look at that
Good
big
reversal in the
bounce.
S&P.
I never move my stop loss.
Well, that was a good
It's got teeth.
reversal. It's good that I left.
Yes, back up above prior low.
This looks like
NQ, plus one touch.
Higher low now against the overnight low. Yes, NQ. Now it's just gonna form some acceptance for a long.
Big sell.
Still range bounds.
Feels like one of those you almost have to just buy. It's not gonna let you.
Bias check-in. What is the current outlook? Are you trading what is? Are we imbalanced / trending or rotational? Is Vwap holding?
I still need to always manage risk. As I say, you need to manage risk on your ideas, and if it goes without me, then you have to let it go. Or else, how are you able to manage risk on that idea?
Tracy says, thank you, Tracy. Manufacturing PMI, new orders, production output, employment, delivery times, and inventory levels. Interesting. And then they average all of those different factors into one score, evidently. But then probably they put the data out on the more granular category level stuff, which might be like more or less important to certain people. Anything above 50 is expanding. Anything below 50 is contraction. We learned so much here. Thanks, Mom.
Looking for some support. Yes, back above prior low. Thank you. Held that. I'm looking at the December contract here, 24,950s, which was support. So for me, who is a directional or trend sort of follower, this is still a range bound market, and I need to wait some acceptance. And there was also no 9-minute reversal. The setup I looked for reversals. This candle here just went right into the 90-minute. I want to see a low or high into the 90-minute, which is in black. And then that sets up my entry for a reversal. This candle went all the way almost to the other side of the range.
Big buy. Big buy.
Whoa. That is crazy, bro. What the fuck is going on here?
NQ. Weekly big plus sell. 2 touch.
Weekly plus 2 touch. Hindsight. This buy right here was nice. Hindsight, of course. Hit this little wick here and here.
Which was prior support of the prior range, and now we are sort of chewing through that supply the more we test it.
Boom, boom, boom. One standard deviation.
Big sell. Big sell.
20 candles. 15 candles.
Big sell.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 20.
Big sell.
Yo, what is going on? This market is mental right now.
He could say, I missed the move. I missed the move. But I was respecting acceptance. We're below that line in the sand, so I wasn't looking. I took the short. I caught the down part of it. I was not interested in the up part of it.
Big sell, big sell, big sell. Delta is mental still.
And I share on streams that I wanted to look. What will be a change in character here? Because you just have moved to the top, rejection.
Wouldn't mind selling again.
Bounce from there.
Seems to be a little bit of absorption.
What would be a change in character from a price structure perspective?
Yo, terrible fill.
Rejection all the way back down to the bottom of the range would be if we can actually now create a higher low, create a little consolidation, acceptance, wedge, whatever you want to call it. That'll be a change in character, and then that can set. It can fill after that for sure, but that is then a way to manage
Terrible
risk on a
feel.
directional trade away from the consolidation. And I think T-Trades calls that as a what does he call that? When there's like a higher low.
Is this gonna continue pushing higher? Or?
That higher low would mean that buyers are stepping up from where? From down here to up here, and they're not letting sellers push price back down. And that's, what to piggyback on, and then look for my entry to manage risk on the long idea. And until then, if that doesn't happen, then price can go all the way back down to the bottom of the range. And it's what I call a scalper's paradise. You're just riding this, what is it, a 40-point move?
Market is
I'm not gonna
wild
lie,
today.
though, there's kind of a lack of aggressive buying on this up move post news. It's not
Taking a small loss is not punishment.
totally.
It's protection. It's an insurance policy you pay to stay in business.
Yes, but it's a little bit lacking. A little bit.
Protected swing, that's what you call it. Yeah, good. Yeah, thanks, guys. Not CISD, but the protected swing, because how I see it is buyers protected here. They created a higher low, or what it says a swing, and then that sets up to move higher. Now, of course, it can fail after that. Totally, you don't know that. But how can one manage risk? And how my approach is, well, a change in character. And that would be a higher low holding versus ping-ponging back and forth. So we have a potential higher low here in NQ. Now we want to see if it can hold
Buyers defending.
and then set up to move higher. But that's I wanted to see that hourly 90-minute hold.
Might have to bail from this.
If the next candle breaks above this candle's high, then I'll get long, and then I'll see. But it's I'll see if it can have some continuation.
Definitely not the S&P. The S&P is kind of doing above average volume so far.
Okay, so we have the 9MA high low in place. Let's see if we can hold and push out. If not, we'll take a stop.
Do you think delta and the shape of a candle, aka effort and result, could be a good timing entry thing or too much noise?
Might
I have some
have to
traders
stop
who
out here.
lean heavily on the actual delta, and obviously relative to the candle matters, because like just as you put it succinctly, effort and result. I certainly have traders who do that. I'm not one of them. I certainly like, as you probably heard me say when I was hitting into that S&P short earlier, the sellers were really slamming it. It's not something I'm using as a timing tool, but it is something I use as confirmation.
All right, so far we did get a change in character here. We created the higher low. That was supported, and now we're attempting higher. Now what I want to see is a continuation. And if not, then so far everything that I wanted to see on a higher time frame is there. We had a pullback into support. We created a higher low against the overnight low.
Next areas I have for the S&P are a 93 to 97 range.
I have now, if we can really reclaim the 68.18 or the 75.80 area, would be 68.43. And then I would say 6,900. What do you have? What did you say you had?
68.93 and 68.97, that kind of range.
Yeah.
Upper 68.97.
Yeah. I would say I have something at 97.
Yep.
We also have the weekly open at 88.
NQ, weekly
And
plus
it's
two
higher.
touch.
Long, it just doesn't work for me in terms of how I use like the Vwap bands and whatnot. It would kind of put me getting long. Like I kind of think this market is heading to 68.90s. That's kind of what I think it's trying to do right now. but it just wasn't a great place for me to buy personally because we're rotational
buy.
today, and we're at the upper end of that rotational range with these VWAP bands. So for me, that's just, again, I would have liked the merit inside me would have liked to have bought this with you, but as I tell my students, my process is a better trader than I am.
Yeah, that's how I feel about when I create my morning plans. The plans are better trader than me. What did you ask? Oh, somebody said we're not answering your question. What was your question?
This guy keeps talking about how the volume's too light. He keeps saying it. We're like over.
There's no
The
volume.
hardest
above
work a
average
trader ever
volume.
does
There's
is
rollover
learning
in
when
the
not to
S&P.
work.
It's great volume. We're good.
How do you feel about this? There's no volume because the top side is down. Isn't that a...
There's no volume that derives from that.
I know.
There's no sim volume coming through. Oh, it was a joke. It was a joke. He's on the level with it.
Oh, okay.
Big sell.
Don't kick him out, guys. Everybody.
No. He's good. He's good. Hey, he's
Let
with
him
me.
stay. Let him stay.
He's with me.
Big buy.
Yes, big traders are done. All the big traders are now are done. Yeah, ES looks like it might stay rotational. NQ, if there's no follow through here, then it will stay rotational. But I did what I had to do. We had the protected swing, the higher low. We pushed. And so if we're not going to get that follow through, then the trade is done. Yeah, I don't like how...
Big buy.
Tough trading in natural gas. As you guys recall, I was in the short here, scaled out into the low, and then scratched the remainder for a small profit from wherever I was in from. For me, moves that continue to go all the way to VWAP and then kind of range expand or try to trend, that's a tough environment to make money in. So no longer any interest there in Natty.
All
Big
take
buy.
it off, minus 0.6 R.
Big buy.
I'll have to look at that later, but there was no follow through, and I don't want to stay involved in. Almost hit 1 R for me, so I like 0.8 R.
Big sell.
Absolutely, Dub.
NQ.
Dub
Plus one
month.
touch.
Would you still trade today or this week if it wasn't for the stream? Absolutely. Again, guys, we have good, healthy volume and good volatility, good movement. We're moving 20 handles at a clip here in the S&P. Are you guys insane? Were you guys not trading in years past where you don't get this type of, you get 10 handles in a day? These are, I think a lot of traders who have come up into trading post 2020, they don't understand how good conditions are. And a lot of smarter, more experienced, more veteran, more wisdom guys than me, they are constantly harping about how good conditions have been and continue to be for short-term trading. And that could change, guys. That things could go back to what I would call more long-term normal. And you don't have these kind of volatility ranges and intraday movement. these are good times for short-term traders, and you really should kind of have a mentality of making hay while the sun is shining, so to speak. Hey, KTS.
Big buy. Big buy.
AQ says, thanks for the FOMO, Merritt. Merot.
Pushing back up. NQ at least, yes. Probably range bound now. Still is going to stay until it attempts push back up. Ooh, Tesla pushing so close to all-time highs.
Oh, I want to buy it. I can't do it, man. Can't do it.
Big buy.
And it held, yeah. But it would have stopped me out if I stayed in it fully. So I'm glad I took it off. Now I see there's you guys want to go higher here.
Oh yeah. It's just not. It's good selectivity for me to not chase that location right now, but sometimes you have internal conflict, guys. It doesn't matter how good of a trader you are. You really see something. As you get more experience, you have that intuition. You kind of see a couple of factors, and you really have a good read on what the market's doing. And it's just not a trade for you. And you got to exercise that discipline, if you will, which I don't love that word for traders, but there's certainly some of that.
Pyramiding isn't about greed. It's about discipline. You're not trying to squeeze every last dollar out of a move. You're scaling into strength.
ES can now create a little bit of the similar structure, a higher low, to create a changing character. So far, it has continued to be a little bit of a range bound. So if we can create a higher low, then it can set up to push higher, and Q would lead.
Gold finally gave another algorithmic long signal there. It just, like I talked about with what's the potential play in gold. It was some kind of a pullback to get long to join this move, but it's like that was more of a pause, more of a little stall.
Big sell.
Flaggy, that's good, but would have loved to have seen something more like what we saw earlier pre-market.
Big buy.
Get it.
When your question on what you're viewing, I can hear in NQ where you're saying that you do want to get long, and we both see what's happening. But what is it that you're seeing maybe
Big
on
buy.
the other side of things through the order flow that is telling you, hey, the weight, how you are allocating into a rotational day is higher because of why?
It's not that the weighting of what I call the intraday condition, whether we're rotational or trending or whatnot. It's not that the weighting
NQ,
is
plus 1
different
touch.
than normal. My point was that it was a usual, heavily used resource and tool for me.
NQ, weekly plus 1
And
touch.
It was not. It's simply, you know, I look at things that are mostly inside this zone, from this band here to this band here, right? That's what I'm using. And so as obviously the bulk of today's trade since the open has been inside that. We've only taken small little peaks outside of it on both ends now. So when the market is in that condition that we call rotational, the play is to actually play mean reversion. Now, we don't just look at what the intraday condition is and take trades based on that. That's not how we trade. There's a bunch of other factors that lead us into using this as just an execution tool. So I would prefer to have been long once we put in this excess low down here, and then started to stabilize a bit back above that kind of area that I have from higher time frames, right? This kind of, we talked about it, the profile lows. But the problem is now I have a problem for my process. I would like to buy here, or I'd like to buy here. You can see my algorithmic signals firing off for potential long points. But it's at the upper edge of this rotational intraday, so there's dissonance, there's a problem. And so I have to kind of pass on that. Unless the conditions were A+,
Big buy.
then and only then would it be acceptable and even prudent to make exceptions around some of my execution stuff. So
Thank you for that. Really good info, guys. Chris, you were right
Big
on
sell.
the consolidation call. Yeah, the higher time frames did suggest consolidation if we couldn't reclaim the breakdown, right? That's 75.80 on the March contract, and then the 68.18 in December in ES, and then the prior week low, 25,110s in NQ, which is around, let's say, 390s, 400 on the March contract. Does it mean that just the entry was too fast and you didn't take it in the middle of the opening range, again, to avoid FOMO? I don't trade the opening range, so that's a separate sort of answer. Was my entry too fast? I wouldn't say so, because everything that I was looking for, we created the higher low against the overnight low, right? So that's like check, and if I had a checklist, that's one. Check that off. Then we had a change in character, meaning that we weren't just ping-ponging back and forth here. We actually had a higher low at the top end of this range, and that is a buyers showed up, even though it failed. And I said, look, it could fail later, but buyers did show up from down here to up here, and they created that higher low. So part of my plan was to look for higher, because we could potentially see a push up higher as long as we had a higher low. We had it. I took the trigger long. It didn't, we're still rotational, so I wouldn't say that there was anything wrong for my trade, or was it early? No, because we could have just continued rallying nonstop higher. But we're just not having any follow through to both sides. And then I say range bound, guys, because if we look at the hourly structures here, I think most of you guys know by now how I track trends. When we start a downtrend like we did here, you have your low, lower high, lower low, that ends, right? And when the 9MA trends on a certain time frame, you now have a mean reversion move back into, let's say, the 2050 EMA. And then from there, we start a wedging structure, right? Which is something like this. And you know what? I can actually share something else. Let's see here.
NQ, weekly plus 1 touch.
There you go. So when the 90-day downtrend ends, you have a move into the 20 or the 50 EMA, and you start a wedge contraction. Let's see if there's another one.
Never average down.
Something like this, right? But it's a consolidation, it's a wedging structure. That's what we pretty much had on the structure that we have on here on the hourly. So we held the pullback, we created the higher low, we had our swing high, and that could set up the consolidation, which is what we're getting. We're now getting this sort of possible wedge structure on the hourly. So that can be multi-hour range if one side breaks. So all we're seeing that is that hourly consolidation. But after an attempt higher, now maybe ES can be lower. Unless we hit 93 again or 845 and bounce back up. Yeah, no strength for follow through on either side at the moment. Software that was trying to hold really well. So now if this recent low in ES fails to hold, then we are going to go down to new lows. So what I'll be looking for is if now we do have a decisive break of this range, and let's say we're not going to be rotational, then I want to see acceptance at the lows for a directional trade idea for new lows. If we don't get that, then we're probably just going to bounce back up and stay rotational. But that's rotational markets this tight are not something that I focus on. So I can't trade this.
For me, there's a big difference between a range-bound session where volume is super low, the speed of tape is super slow, versus this. This is not that. This is a nicely trading range-bound session with volume and whatnot. So there's a big difference. And so I just want to point that out to people. Just because a market is sideways on a session doesn't mean that it's dead and shouldn't be touched, or obviously it depends on your strategy and what you're trying to do. But I think that's an important distinction.
Yeah. Just have to know yourself.
There was a good question earlier about how do you come up with a DLL, a daily loss limit. Shouldn't be too big, so it demotivates, also not trigger too fast.